G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on Golden Pit. That is correct. The pit with the gold in the middle of the map. It is going to be a good game today. We've got the Japanese, we've got the Juicy Legacy, two of my favorite civilizations at the moment. I'm having so much fun with the Juicy Legacy. And of course the Japanese, a civilization that has, I guess I would say, dropped off in popularity. I don't notice a lot of Japanese on the ladder. Have you seen much Japanese on the ladder? I don't see much Japanese anymore on the ladder. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's introduce our players today because we have got two Conqueror 3 players facing off against each other. And I tell you what, if you like Conqueror 3 players, you're going to love this video. So make sure you hit a like on the video, leave a subscribe, and of course, ring that bell for notifications. Let's get into it. Spawning in on the west side of the map in the color orange, playing as Juicy's Legacy. It is SSPP, who we're just going to be calling I don't know what we'll actually be calling him. I guess we'll call him Spoon. We'll call him Spoon. I like Spoon. Spoon can work. And on the east side of the map, in the color red, playing as the Japanese, we've got Fei-chan. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is great to have your company here today, and we've got ourselves a 2 TC opening. Take a look at this, Faye. Going to be throwing down that early forge. Not going to be gathering up any gold. Instead, going to be doing it the good old-fashioned way. Straight into 2 TCs out of the gates. Loving it. On the other side of the map, though, we'll ride on board with Spoon and see exactly how that opening is. Plenty of sheep here. Nothing feels better than coming back at 90 seconds into the game with this many sheep behind you. You just know, okay, I'm going to be all right. Now, I'm going to have to call the macro police here. I feel like we almost need a little bit of a siren for this. The macro police need to be called. Now, why am I calling the macro police? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is because we are only 2 minutes into this game, and Spoon, despite being a Conqueror 3 player, is on the berries as the Chinese. Now, you might not think that this is such a large violation that warrants a citation, but I promise you it is. Number one, berries have a much slower gather rate. So we're talking 0.66 versus 0.75. That means over 10 seconds, you've gathered 7.5 food versus only 6.6 food here. Might not seem like a lot, but add it up over the first 3, 4, 5 minutes of the game, and you're talking about a substantially slower age up. On top of that, we've also got villagers that have to do quite a bit more walking than this guy right here. Have a look at this guy. Gets up from his work, hands in his food, sits back down straight away. Compare that to these guys. Get ready. Have a look at the walking distance that we've got here early on. It is absolutely ludicrous. And that right there is the big reason why we like to avoid going on the berries early on. There is one positive to it, or one upside to it, and that is that you're getting rid of the berries early. And that way, you know, if you do eventually lose this position, maybe there's some Japanese archers that come through and look to camp this position, or maybe an outpost gets thrown down, then you've taken the food out of those berries, and that way you can fall back onto your sheep. But I'll be honest with you, if that happens, you've probably got bigger problems to worry about than you know, 250 food here or there. Anyway, let's check in with Faye and see how she's doing as the Kura storehouse is coming down along the wood line. Looks like she hasn't stomped that straggler tree, so she shouldn't have the wood to actually go for that second town center. She's gone off at 366 stone as well, so it looks like she did do a little bit of gold gathering. I am a really big fan of this. I think this is the best way that you can possibly open with the Japanese. So if you are if you're a Japanese main, definitely look to pay attention to this opening. Now, of course, the caveat is that this is the best 2 TC opening. I still think Fast Castle is the best strategy for them at the moment. But essentially what she's done is she's only taken 360 stone or 350 stone off this stone outcropping, and then she's run the villagers across over to the gold and done a long distance mine. That way she doesn't have to throw down a second forge, and then that way she doesn't have to gather up all of the rest of the gold from the stone, and it basically means her age up's about 20 to 30 seconds faster. So it's a really, really nice move, and you can get incredibly quick TCs with this. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Faye looking to put down that TC around the 4 minutes 45 mark, 4 minute 50 mark. It is a very competitive time that she'll be looking for, but we do start to see a couple of villagers heading over onto that top side. She's got, how many vills are here? It looks like 4 on it at the moment, and just a handful of villagers here, but working towards it. You can see about one more hand, and then she will have the resources for it. So we're going to have ourselves a very quick second town center. On the other side of the map, we do see the Jiangnan Tower coming down here as well for Spoon. So nice little position that he's got here, actually. How much food? Only 6 a minute by the looks, yeah. Only 6 a minute. Never feels good when you've only got that. 4 minutes 50. Let's see it. Hand it in. It's not the fastest, but it's still a pretty damn fast TC, especially when you compare it to some of the other openings that have got your town center coming down at like 5:10, 5:15, 5:30. This is pretty damn quick. I'd be very happy with this. But by the same token, Spoon is a little bit behind the 8-ball when it comes to his Song Dynasty timing. Song Dynasty should be coming through shortly for Spoon, but it will delay that second TC. We can see that still quite a few resources to go before. I think if you're talking about world records for second TCs with the Juicy Legacy and a Song Dynasty, you're probably looking at close to around 5 minutes and 10 seconds, I think is about the best you can get. But anyway, we'll ride on board with Faye and see how she's doing as that second TC is coming up. Going to be opting for the TC on the berries, which is a little bit weird. Normally, I guess realistically, the gold's in the back of the base here. One thing to note is she's rallied towards the stone. Is there a chance that she's going for a third TC here? It could be the case, especially in a matchup where you know you're up against a 2 town center play from your opponent. Now, she has scouted out the stone outcropping. She's scouted out, okay, I know that there's only a second town center coming in. There's not going to be a third town center, so maybe she's apprehensive about going into that. So it looks like it's just going to be a 2 TC face-off between these two players. The question is going to be whether they look to play it out in feudal or whether they go up to castle age, because at the higher level, so I'm talking, you know, your top 10, top 20, I would say in both of these circumstances, or in both of these positions, the players respectively would go for their castle ages, almost certainly. However, even though we're at the Kong 3 level, I still feel like going into units just makes a little bit more sense, because your opponents are a little bit, what's the word? A little, you can't really rely on or know what they're going to be doing 100% here, because realistically, you know, Spoon could be going into Zhuge, which is exactly what he's doing. Faye's going to spot this out, and now Faye doesn't know, okay, how many Zhuge are going to be here, so Faye's going to think about going down for a reaction herself. She's not going to be relatively quick in her age up as well. It's probably about 2-3 minutes off, so Zhuge could do a lot of damage here, so naturally the best response for Faye is just going to be getting straight over onto the wood and looking to get down. If you're up against Zhuge, I guess a stable would probably make the most sense, but you do have to be very careful in this matchup against going up against those Zhuge. They are so incredibly powerful. Stable coming down as well for Spoon here, and this will get spotted out by Faye. She will see both of these, so could be looking to go into a barracks just to deal with this. You can always go in for Samurai against the Zhuge, but the trouble that you've got is once those Samurai, or once the Zhuge get to a critical mass, you are going to have a very tough time. Aggressive walls coming out as well for Faye. Second town center pumping out those villagers. Villager count slightly ahead for Faye. She did get that TC up a little bit faster, and it is going to be the barracks for her coming out. On the other side of the map, though, have a look at this. We've got 2 TC into eco upgrades, which is always a nice, safe way to play it. If you are trying to get a little bit of a lead on your opponent, going straight into those eco upgrades is very, very nice. Second archery range has been put down here as well. We do see the double Zhuge on the back of the Jiangnan Tower. Will now come out and will attempt to take down this scout, forcing it back towards the base, saying, Faye, get out of here. You're not welcome around these parts, my friend. But we'll check in with Spoon, see how he's doing. Not terribly, not terribly. I do like the position that Spoon is in. I think that it's quite interesting that he's gone into the stable as well. And I think the stable is designed to force your opponent to go into infantry. But realistically, one of the things I've been testing with the Juicy Legacy is building enough Zhuge that you can force your opponent to make units, but then aging up before they can actually kill your Zhuge, and then you go veterancy and +2 ranged attack. And it seems to do really, really well. A lot of people just don't expect it, and you can strike with quite a lot of speed. But have a look at these numbers right now. It's going to be Honor Geisha that are coming out for Faye. Out of all the units, it's Honor Geisha. I did not expect that. Spears are actually pretty decent in this situation because the Juicy Legacy have Zhuge. They don't have access to archers, and without archers, they do not have the ability to get that bonus damage against your Honor Geisha. So as long as the ranged armor comes through, which it already has come through, then Faye is going to be at a decent spot here, as long as she can get up close and personal with these Zhuge. So at the moment, they're only doing 9 damage a pop here to these Honor Geisha, and I think a normal archer would be doing what, something about 6, 11, something like that. So it's a little bit less damage than the archer would be doing. What is it? 6 + 5, I think, is what it works out to. So it'd be It'd be 10 damage. So it's pretty much exactly the same, I guess. But nice little intercept. Have a look at this. Faye going to be running an interception route in the middle of the map with the Honor Bageisha, looking to clean up all the Zhuge rallying across the map. Really smart move here by Faye. This is actually very, very smart because now you've directed all of these forces that were outside your base and you've told them, hey, come back here, chase me over this way. And that's exactly what Spoon is going to be doing now, only just turning around and saying, actually, that's a bait, mate. And you're 100% right. It is a bait, mate. Now, what's the deal with this? Why do we have two scouts, and why are they separately stacked here? Is it just me, or do they look a little bit different? I feel like one of them was bigger than the other one. This one looks bigger than that one. Maybe it's just me, though. Anyway, Honor Bagatti, still doing work. +1 melee attacks come through. Still looking out for +2. There it is on the way now. It's going to be Hizukuri coming through soon. Bannerman also out, so that's going to be a total of +3 melee attack already coming out for the Honor Bageisha. These things attack very quickly. Just keep that in mind, these girls. They are attacking one attack every 0.9 seconds. It's very quick, and now Honor Bageisha fighting off a bit more than they can chew. We'll look to try and take the front line, and have a look at this. Plenty of Bageisha on the back line as well. Juicy Legacy struggling a little bit with this. The Zhuge really meeting their early counter. I did not expect to see this. There's 21 Bageisha out right now. Oh my... Are we really witnessing? Has Spoon looked to go for something a little bit different? It doesn't look like it. Not all the eco upgrades are through. I think Spoon was just not expecting this, and to be honest, I don't think I was as either. I've never seen this unit destroy the Zhuge like this. This is some next level kind of play that we're witnessing right now. Faye, you know what's kind of amazing to me is that the Japanese are still cooking. You know, they've been out for what, months, and we're still seeing new stuff. Like, look, to be fair, Honor Bageisha spam is not new. Okay, we've known for a while that Honor Bageisha is pretty good. But in this matchup against Zhuge, they're not just like winning; they're absolutely destroying them. That's kind of crazy. So now the question becomes, does Faye think about going to Castle Age? I don't even think she needs to. I mean, realistically, oh god, this is going to be huge. Oh, this is going to be terrible. Oh, the villagers almost getting surrounded there. Fortunately, only one of them will go down for the moment. And it's just going to be one that goes the way of the dodo. So what do you even go here against the Honor Bageisha? I mean, you could just try and mass up Zhuge and just keep kiting. I think that's probably the play. I think just doing what SSP's doing at the moment is probably the right call. But you've got to be really careful about how you play it. I don't think you can push out too far. And see, look at this. This is the issue. We've got no walls that are coming up from Spoon. So now it's going to be villagers getting absolutely wrecked everywhere. Look at the damage that comes out. Beautiful surround coming in from Faye on this south side. More villagers going to be going down. 3 workers taken out so far already. And that villager lead is going to start to build now for Faye. She's doing very well at controlling her opponent, but at the same time, it's to be expected when you're not building walls. I'm always about the walls. You guys know I love building my walls up, getting my onion out. You're going to have a base built like an onion. You want to see layers on layers on layers. Really, really important, because once the first wall's down, you've got to have a backup all ready to go, and then you've got to start walling behind that. You want to get your third wall in. The more walls, the better. Look at this Honor Bagatti spam right now. One overpowered unit up against the next one. I mean, not many people think the Honor Bageisha is overpowered. I'll be honest, I don't really think it is. But what we're seeing right now is something of a beauty. The Zhuge, that's a little bit different. I've seen many Reddit posts about this unit, about how it's unstoppable. And look, I'll be honest, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good unit. But now the Bagatti gonna run in head first against this, realizing there's probably a bit too much there. Falling back for the moment. More Bageisha coming up towards the top, at the same time towards the bottom. They're just absolutely everywhere. Faye is hitting her opponent left, right, center, uppercut, hooking, everything. There's just shots coming in from every single angle. Faye is doing God's work here. And now looking to clean up a couple more Zhuge on this bottom side. You can see they picked up the melee armor, fitted leatherwork, helping out in this situation. And once again, keeping the Juicy Legacy player in their base. Faye not really building up that eco lead too much. You can see that the eco upgrades, at least from what I can see, aren't displayed here. What have we got? We got Furusa. Look at that. None of the eco upgrades actually show for the Japanese. That's kind of wild, isn't it? Like, she's literally picked up absolutely everything. And yet it does not show that she's got anything on the UI. But look, hey, AAA game, 2024. What else can I say? The technology's just not there yet. We don't have the ability. But now, have a look at this. Walking into a trap right now. Faye is looking to absolutely obliterate the Juicy Legacy Zhuge. And behind this, we see more of them coming through. little bit of a clamp here. I don't know if a clamp is the right pincer move. Pincer move coming in from the left, the right, and even the bottom as well. Have a look at this. But it does look like the Zhuge Nu is somewhat doing pretty well in this situation. Able to stand their ground, and as long as you've just got those shots coming out, it looks like they will manage to hold on. Faye being forced back away. You're not so overpowered anymore, are you, Faye? But we start to see a bit of a switch. Take a look at this. We've got Samurai on the way through right now. So the thing I'd really love to see from SSPP are just walls. Just give me walls, SSPP. So realistically, you know, a wall just up along this side. You can even throw another one in. Get 2 walls up if you want. Maybe put one down to this wood line and then come across here. It just makes it so much easier. And oh, granary in the front of the base. Never fun to see. There's nowhere else really available to be putting this granary down. You could obviously go up towards this top side, but we've been under attack many times. And I guess that just goes to show the importance of planning out the base, especially on a map like Golden Pit, where you do spawn quite close to the edge of the map. You can see that this main town center is here. There was plenty of space back here. Like, realistically, you could have gone all the way up here with just plenty of farms, moved them around, but throw the Zhangnan Tower down at the back of the base. Probably the worst spot it could be. This is a great landmark to just put in the front. You don't really care if you lose this landmark, so really, really nice to just put out there and use it as battering ram absorption tools. But at this stage of the game, Faye is looking to continue putting on pressure. Neither player really looking to go Castle Age. A lot of gold in the bank at the moment for SSPP. Only the 6 villagers on gold, but it's going to be those Imperial officials that just keep collecting the tax that is going to be pushing that gold count up. 1,600. You probably want to pull those villagers off gold at the moment. 64 workers for SSPP. He's lost 13 so far. So technically on 78 if it wasn't for those 13 lost souls, compared to the 79 of Faye. So very, very close economies, with the exception of the fact that Faye has done a very good job of just keeping her opponent down. More barracks being thrown in once again, and Faye is looking to go on the offensive. Down to the south side, a couple of samurai now going to be mixed in. Makes it very, very difficult for the Zhuge Legacy player because they've got to look to try and focus down those damage-dealing units. It's going to be those Honor Geisha. So the best thing you can do is just make sure you're always kiting backwards. And once again, we're seeing more farms coming in around the front of the base. SSPP absolutely doing one of my most hated. This is a macro police. This is not just a citation. This is an indictment right here. Like, read the charge sheet. It's like, we've got like multiple double-digit farms on the front line in the front of the base where the production should be. I'm hanging my head right now in my hands as I cast this. It's a sad state of affairs. But now, speaking of sad state of affairs, have a look at this. Samurai looking to lead the way up against these Zhuge Nu. More units going to be rallying down towards that angle, but have a look at this. At the same time, splitting off every single villager. Now forced to run away. The consequence of having it in the back of, or in the front of the base rather, is that you just cannot keep those villagers working there. So now you've got an idle economy. And this is where things start to get bad for the Zhuge Legacy. Honor Brigade absolutely overwhelming Faye, or Faye with the Honor Brigade overwhelming her opponent. Starting to really struggle here. You can see the power of this Japanese opening. The samurai together with the Honor Geisha make it very, very difficult for the Zhuge Nu just because you can't attack move anymore. You have to focus the specific units down, and towards the north, we hear another attack coming through. It's going to be up against the wall. The wall very aggressive. Needed to be a little bit shallower on this backside here. Zhuge Nu will be able to chase it away, and we head back towards the base where there is about 10 Zhuge Nu that still somehow manage to make their way through that backside town center supporting, and the third TC does actually come down. I didn't even realize this. We do now have that third town center coming online for the Zhuge Legacy player, and I'll be honest, I like this a lot. I think this is the smartest move that you can make right now. The problem that you've got is because you didn't wall, and because you didn't build those farms. Oh god, Phase Castle Age. 142 population now up against 104, not to mention the tech advantage when +2 ranged armor comes in, and I will say right now, it is coming in 52 seconds. When +2 ranged armor is in, these Zhuge Nu are going to be doing barely any damage anymore. The Honor Geisha, of course, getting that nice little bump up in damage. The Samurai, they're not even going to care about that extra +2 ranged armor. But the big thing here for me is just very, very clearly the lack of walls has really, unfortunately for Spoon in this game, has just been terrible to watch because it's been something that really could have been solved with just a handful of walls across here. You know, a wall across here, a wall across here. You can put a wall on the backside here. We just want to layer that base like an onion, and it stops our opponent from coming in. You know, a wall across the side here. Yeah, they're going to have to work through it, but it gives me time. It gives you time to get those units down. Let's say it takes 15 seconds to get through the wall with their Ayyubids. Well, now all of a sudden you've got 15 seconds to get your units in position. It just doesn't make sense not to go for it, not to mention the fact that we've got these granaries on the front, which are just always so painful to get down there. Was a little bit of space in the back of the base, but definitely not enough to justify throwing down those granaries at this stage of the game. And now, +2 ranged armor is well and truly through. The Ayyubids will get focused down here. The Zhuge number are pretty decent at the moment, 49 Zhuge. Keep in mind, they will be pumping out just a little bit less than 150 damage every volley. Samurai with 120 health, not gonna be surviving against that. Ayyubids have got their veterancy through, and you can see how fast they are. Really struggling at the moment. Spoon is just trying to keep his head above water. More Zhuge now going to come in and clean this up. And let's check in with Faye as the town center's come down in the middle. Have a look at this. She's putting the Daimyo Manor on that TC in the middle. She's spotted out the town center from her opponent and says, well, just as a bit of security, I guess I'll go for a third TC as well, just to maintain my villager lead. I've taken out close to 40 villagers this game. I might as well keep it up. And now Spoon holding on for dear life. The Zhuge numbers are building, though. 54 Zhuge, definitely nothing to sniff at, but there it goes, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it. Faye able to take out the Juicy Legacy with a Byzantine strategy. I'm absolutely loving it. Anyway, make sure you check her out. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can watch her live, and of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.